Okay, I agree with you that not all atheists are in despair. My point is, shame on you atheists who haven't faced the despair of life. Because if you're going to be consistent with your atheism, there is no basis for meaning in life in any absolute sense. There's no basis for a moral absolute, right and wrong, and there's no basis for life after death, which means the only logical conclusion of atheism is despair. In the same way that my faith in Christ leads to logical conclusions like heaven and hell, and I need to acknowledge that and not weasel out from that. So if atheism is true, it leads to logical conclusions, one of which is despair, the meaninglessness of life. And so all I'm pleading with you is the same thing that you plead with me. Cliff, if you believe in Jesus, you think there's going to be a heaven and a hell. Now let me see how I can make you squirm, Cliff, to try and explain hell out here, coming in light of a loving God. And I respect you for that. You're demanding that I be consistent. Well, allow me to do the same thing to you, to hold you to be consistent. If you say there is no God, then acknowledge life is absurd, morality is relative, and death is the end. That means that despair, hopelessness, wins the day. That's why I respect Camus and Sartre and Nietzsche, because they were atheists who had the courage to face the logical conclusions of their atheism. I have that much intellectual respect for an atheist who says there is no God. But Cliff, my life has worth and value. But Cliff, apartheid is absolutely evil. But Cliff, maybe there's life after death. No, false. If you're an atheist, be consistent. Hold to your worldview. Your worldview is there is no God, which means life is absurd, morality is relative, and death is the end. In the same way that you want me to be consistent as a follower of Christ, I want you, my atheist friends, to be consistent. The only way there can be right and wrong in an absolute sense is if this man has intrinsic value. See, if this man is an accident, to kick him in the jaw is not absolutely wrong. I'm just kicking an accident. See, if there is no God, there's no difference between him, the leaf, and the stone. They're all accidents. But if this man is a human being created in the image of God, in other words, if he has an intrinsic, innate worth that comes from God, then to kick him in the jaw is absolutely evil. Does that make sense?